A nun is a member of a religious community of women, typically one living under vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. She may have decided to dedicate her life to serving all other living beings, or she might be an ascetic who voluntarily chose to leave mainstream society and live her life in prayer and contemplation in a monastery or convent. The term nun is applicable to Catholics, Orthodox Christians, Anglicans, Lutherans, Jains, Buddhists, Taoists, Hindus and some other religious traditions. While in common usage the terms nun and sister are often used interchangeably, they are considered different ways of life, with a nun being a religious woman who lives a contemplative and cloistered life of meditation and prayer for the salvation of others, while a religious sister, in religious institutes like Mother Teresa's Missionaries of Charity, lives an active vocation of both prayer and service, often to the needy, ill, poor, and uneducated. Buddhism. All Buddhist traditions have nuns, although their status is different among Buddhist countries. The Buddha is reported to have allowed women into the Sangha only with great reluctance, predicting that the move would lead to Buddhism's collapse after 500 years, rather than the 1,000 years it would have enjoyed otherwise. Fully ordained Buddhist nuns have more patimokkha rules than the monks. The important vows are the same, however. As with monks, there is quite a lot of variation in nuns' dress and social conventions between Buddhist cultures in Asia. Chinese nuns possess the full bhikkhuni ordination. Tibetan nuns do not. In Theravada countries it is generally believed that the full ordination lineage of bhikkhunis died out, though in many places they wear the saffron-colored robes, observing only 10 precepts like novices. Thailand. In Thailand, a country which never had a tradition of fully ordained nuns, there developed a separate order of non-ordained female renunciates called Meiji. However, some of them have played an important role in Dhamma practitioners' community. There are in Thai forest tradition foremost nuns such as Meiji Kawc Anglam, the founder of the nunnery of Ban Hui Saai, who is believed by some to be enlightened, as well as Upawsika Ki Nanayon. At the beginning of the 21st century, some Buddhist women in Thailand have started to introduce the Bhikkhuni Sangha in their country as well, even if public acceptance is still lacking. Dhammananda Bhikkhuni, formerly the successful academic scholar Drive Chatsuman Kabul Singh, established a controversial monastery for the training of Buddhist nuns in Thailand. Taiwan. The relatively active roles of Taiwanese nuns were noted by some studies. Researcher Charles Brewer Jones estimates that from 1952 to 1999, when the Buddhist Association of the Rock organized public ordination, female applicants have outnumbered males by about 3 to 1. He adds, all my informants in the areas of Taipei and Sancha considered nuns at least as respectable as monks, or even more so. In contrast, however, Shu Kuan-sung found in Taipei County that female clergy were viewed with some suspicion by society. She reports that while outsiders did not necessarily regard their vocation as unworthy of respect, they still tended to view the nuns as social misfits. Wei Yi Cheng studied luminary order in southern Taiwan. Cheng reviewed earlier studies which suggest that Taiwan's Zhaijiao tradition has a history of more women participation, and that the economic growth and the loosening of family restriction allowed more women to become nuns. Based on studies of luminary order, Cheng concluded that the monastic order in Taiwan was still young and gave nuns more rooms of development, and more mobile believers helped the order. Tibet. The August 2007 International Congress on Buddhist Women's Role in the Sangha, with the support of H. 14th Dalai Lama, reinstated the Gelongma lineage, having been lost in India and Tibet for centuries. Gelongma ordination requires the presence of 10 fully ordained people keeping exactly the same vows. Because 10 nuns are required to ordain a new one, the effort to establish the Dharmagupta Bhikkhu tradition has taken a long time. It is permissible for a Tibetan nun to receive bhikkhuni ordination from another living tradition, e.g., in Vietnam. Based on this, Western nuns ordained in Tibetan tradition, like Thutun Chodron, took full ordination in another tradition. The ordination of monks and nuns in Tibetan Buddhism distinguishes 3 stages: Rabjungma, Getchulma and Gelungma. The clothes of the nuns in Tibet are basically the same as those of monks, but there are differences between novice and gelong robes. Japan Hokaji in 747 was established by the consort of the emperor. It took charge of provincial convents, performed ceremonies for the protection of the state, and became the site of pilgrimages. Aristocratic Japanese women often became Buddhist nuns in the pre-modern period. Originally it was thought they could not gain salvation because of the 5 hindrances, which said women could not attain Buddhahood until they changed into men. However, in 1249, 12 women received full ordination as priests.